Today's thought is around cyber deception technologies. We all know that things have changed. The parameter has vanished, and reliance on protection layers only is not enough. Insider threats are on the rise, and I believe organizations must build their defenses based on the assumption that attackers are already inside their network. Adding detection technologies will prove to be very critical, and cyber deception is one of these detection technologies. Now, cyber deception is built around luring attackers with deceptive assets in order to derail their activities during the attack phase. But is cyber deception another point solution that adds to the alert fatigue? Does it overlap with other detection technologies? To take a deeper look into cyber deception, I'm joined today by Ray Kafity. Ray is a veteran in cybersecurity who has led multiple cybersecurity organizations here in the Middle East. And Ray currently is the VP of Ativo Networks, who is a leader in cyber deception market. Welcome, Ray.
Thank you very much, Rabi. Glad to be here.
My first question, Ray, is the classical question when we talk about detection technologies. So we've put our next generation firewall in place. We have our multi-factor authentication. We've spent money building that SIM. Why do we need cyber deception?
A very good question. A very simple reason is because in spite of all of what you just said and all of the investments being poured in on the traditional cybersecurity solutions, you are still seeing in the marketplace a number of breaches and a number of infiltration of big networks. And therefore, there still be a need to have a solution to be able to detect and respond to the attack once the cyber threat is inside of the network. And that is why deception has been reinvented or reintroduced to the market for that purpose.
So Ray, how are deception technologies deployed?
Okay, so deception technologies are simply deployed through an appliance or through a platform. The way of deployment is a way to spread as many deceptive assets as possible inside the network, as to lure the attacker once he's inside to come to those deception assets and execute their malicious activities inside our platform or the deception platform instead of executing their attack on real production environments. Deceptive assets could be decoy endpoints or decoy servers, or could be deceptive credentials that the attacker looks for once they are inside the network.
And are these deceptive assets restricted to on-premise assets, or they can be?
No. There could be on-premise assets for networks that are on-premise, but we can have deceptive assets on the cloud. We can have deceptive assets on industrial control systems. We also have deceptive assets that goes into healthcare management systems and Internet of Things as that market develops and matures.
Oh, okay, great. Early intrusion detection and prevention system embedded the concept of honeypot 15 years back. How is cyber deception different?
Granted that deception platforms nowadays uses the basic concept of honeypots, but the major difference is as follows. The original honeypots was directed to the internet. It was mainly developed to see what attracts people from the internet to this honeypot. The deception platform is now pointing inside of the organization, and it assumes its work after the attacker manages to bypass your prevention solutions. This is number one. The number two the honeypot solutions were a lab exercise in most parts in the past, and it lacked the advanced security features and the advanced deployment scalability was also not there in the original honeypots. Well, that all has changed with the deception platforms.
So Ray, is the cyber deception another point solution we are adding in panic? Or is it really strategically positioned as one of the defense layers and as a SOC tool?
Yeah, good question. So from the onset, deception platforms have to coexist and have to complement and have to integrate with all of the tools that are in the SOC environment. This is number one. Number two, all of the SOC analysts are facing a challenge now, which is what we call alert fatigue. They have all of those tools that are in place, and they give them thousands and thousands of alerts, on a daily basis. Well, cyber deception is one of the few technologies that once an alert comes out of the cyber deception platform is an informed alert, and it is evidence-based alert. Means it is not something that we alert on because we saw something semi-suspicious. No, we alert on it because we have seen in our eyes the actual malicious movement and the malicious activities happening inside your organization. But luckily speaking, it's being done and executed on a deceptive platform, not on your production platforms. So there is no ifs and buts about the validity of the alert. The alert that comes from a cyber deception platform is an alert that needs to be looked at immediately for SOC analysts and SOC managers.
My last question, Ray. How do you see cyber deception evolving? Will pure play cyber deception vendors continue to evolve? Or will cyber deception technology become embedded in other detection and response systems?
This is a very good question. So my honest answer to this is as follows. Initially, there were standalone cyber deception solution providers because they've innovated and they developed and they did the research to come up with this solution to complement or to fill the gap of the dwell time. But what we have seen lately that big companies, security companies that have a large portfolio of solutions are extremely interested in adding the cyber deception feature in their portfolio to cover the whole nuts and bolts of cybersecurity. It just happens that the gap of dwell time was still open, and I think deception will fit in very nicely in this jigsaw puzzle for companies to complete their portfolio. So I would say that yes, it will become, in my opinion, a very critical feature in a wide range security platform.
Okay, thank you very much, Ray. And thank you for having the time today and having this open technology discussion. Deception and camouflage are very old tactics that are still used in wars to expose attackers. Now, cyber wars are not different, and the need for cyber deception technologies will rise as insider threats rise. What started as a honeypot concept has evolved into a full cyber deception platform. And I believe it will continue to evolve in terms of use cases, breadth of asset types, footprint, and deployment options. Now you've listened to the discussion with Ray, you've listened to my opinion. I want to know what you think about cyber deception technologies. Please leave your feedback in the comments section of the LinkedIn post. Thank you very much.